Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? Hey, yo, they let me off early today. All praises. God damn, it started raining now, Brody. As I'm pulling up to the shop, it started raining. About to go get me some chicken. Don't tell my kids that though. But peep game, man, we got to get into this shit, man. And that's Bud Crawford and the trolling job that he's doing on Jermell Charlo, man. Listen, that shit is hysterical. I ain't gonna cap. I love it. I'm loving the petty shit that I'm seeing from him, all from the PBC. I'm loving all of it. Y'all denied that man for years, disrespected him, violated him, just diminished that man's accomplishments, diminished his worth within and value within the division. Y'all had the most to say about that nigga. Now that he in a position to dictate terms on y'all and bang on y'all, y'all can't take it. Niggas can't take it. They don't like the fact that he's saying, "Nah, we having a rematch at 147 pounds. I don't give a fuck about you, moving up to 154, wanting to move up there. That's not my problem. I'd be more, um, I'd be more accommodating to you had you not acted the way that you acted for the past half of a decade. You was on some sucker shit. All right, cool. This is what I'm on. Take it or leave it. I'm loving all of that. His fans who sat there and disrespected that man and ain't say shit about 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, wrong side of the street, blame Bob. I'm the big dog in here. He gonna have to, bow down. Yep. All of y'all who had nothing to say about that, y'all didn't give a fuck about that fight happening or not. Y'all got a lot more. Y'all got a lot more out of Bud being domineered over and played keep away with undisputed, a two-time undisputed and played, just dangling the Spence carrot in front of Bud. Y'all got a lot more out of that than actually seeing the fight go down, and it shows. Y'all wish the fight could have just stayed on paper and talked about on the social medias networks and all that, man. Other than it actually going down in the ring, because now that it's went down in the ring, y'all can't deal with the result of it. So it is what it is, man. So I'm glad that he's being the petty dude that he's doing. Continue to be that smug son of a bitch, my nigga. I loves it. Now on the flip side of that, we do need a Jermell Charlo versus Bud Crawford fight. There's no way we can get around that, man. You can't take credit for what Canelo did to Charlo. So just because Canelo crashed that nigga at 168 pounds, that don't mean you gonna do that at 154. Even though I think you can, that does, we still have to see it. You can't be like, oh man, I don't even want to fight you no more. Canelo beat your ass already. And I don't think Bud is on that type time. Bud wants to fight that nigga. He's just, trolling him. But I'm seeing a lot of fans. This is one thing about up here, man, in my city, man. Listen, Terrence is my champ, dog. Like, that's the champ. That's our champion up here. It is what it is, bro. Like, that's our champion. That's my champ. But I have to stay within the realm of reason when it comes to this boxing manosphere, man. And a lot of people up here are polar opposites of that, man. I had a fight party on Saturday for the Canelo fight, and everybody swear up and down Bud will go up there and knock out Canelo, and they're giving me all of these, equations of how he did against competition 3 divisions below where Canelo fights at. And I'm like, y'all, this shit is getting ridiculous. So now the new narrative is because Charlo went up there and got embarrassed that Bud doesn't need to fight him. And I'm like, why? Tell me why that. Tell me what does Canelo beating the shit out of Charlo have to do with Bud fighting Charlo? What does that have to do with anything? It has absolutely nothing to do with that fight. We still need that fight. This is equivalent to when Andre turned down that Johnny Beck fight, and Johnny Beck went in there and looked pedestrian against Denzel Bentley. It's equivalent to that. So because he looked the way that he looked against Denzel Bentley in a win, that's a justification for Demetrius Andre not fighting him. You don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. I don't like when people do that shit. I don't like it. We need Bud versus Charlo. We do. That fight could potentially do more numbers than Spence and Bud. Why? Because I think what Bud did, what he did to Charlo during that fight, as the fight was happening, As he's violating Spence, he turned to Charlo, you next, you a bitch, you bitch ass nigga, and started just banging on him like that. Because I remember watching it live. I'm like, yo, man, what the fuck is going on? Like, I didn't know who I seen him do that. I seen him do that, but I didn't see who he was doing it to. And it wasn't until after the fact that I found out he was doing it to Charlo. That made that shit that much more savage. Oh shit. Oh yeah, it's time to slow all the way down. That made that shit that much more savage. It made it that much more savage. And now that you have Canelo, now I don't. That's not, it's not saying that it's automatic. You know that his stock is going to rise that much more because he fought Canelo. It possibly may have even plummeted, if we being real. It possibly may have plummeted. But with the notoriety that Bud is getting in the now, and after that, after that fight went down, Charlo saying, I'm going back to 154 pounds, and if Bud won it, we can run that shit next. That could potentially add some sort of pizzazz to the fight. So we not in a position where niggas could be like, oh man, like we don't need to see that fight. Nah, Brody, nah. But a lot of fans is talking this shit, like, and particularly up here in Omaha. Man, I don't want to see that shit, man. Bud beat that nigga. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to see that fight? It's it. Fighters don't live vicariously through each other. You don't get to say that he gonna beat his ass because he lost to him. That's not his victory. He don't get bragging rights on what another nigga did. Bud doesn't get bragging rights on what Canelo did. And to Bud's favor, I don't think he's trying to. I just think he's simply trolling Charlo. I just think he's kicking him while he's down. I think that's literally all it is. But people don't know how to take, reading between the lines and understand when somebody's, being satirical. Bud he's being a dickhead right now to Charlo. And I think Charlo is, because of that embarrassing performance he gave us on Saturday, he's feeling it like, yo, man. He's feeling it. Let me get off the interstate. I need new tires, Brody. I'm slipping and sliding all over the place. It's time for me to get off the interstate. It's raining out in this motherfucker. Let me over. My nigga. But yeah, I just literally made a Facebook status saying, yo, as funny as this shit is, we still need that fight. Oh man, I don't want to see that shit. Then you're not a boxing fan, bro. You can't equate another man, like, these fighters don't live vicariously through each other. You can't equate Canelo beating Charlo in the fashion that he beat him into Bud. You can't. You cannot do it. You can say, I don't want to see Bud and Spence fight again. Okay, that's understandable. Why? Because of how bad Spence got crashed. You can say that. You can definitely say that. But I'm not about to sit there and equate a loss to a fighter in three divisions higher than where the nigga that's calling him out campaigns at. I'm not about to equate that win to what he is at Buck. No, that's just not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Like, I don't know why, like, boxing fans are the only niggas who feel like, yo, man, you lost to him. You got losses on your record, on your resume, so I don't want to see you fight again. I don't want to see you fight. Oh, well, you lost to him, he a bum. You dig the knee-jerk reactions, man. Like, it bothers me. Do you not want to see LeBron James play basketball because he's lost more times in the finals than he's won, I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, let's stop being, pump the brakes and let's start using logic here. Are you a fan of the sport, or are you just fan of the moment shit? Any narrative that gets pushed out there, are you the nigga that's gonna sit there and try to, give resistance to that narrative, or are you gonna fall in line with it? Canelo beating Charlo has nothing to do with Bud fighting Charlo. That's a fight that needs to happen, especially if you're trying to go triple undisputed. You need to go holler at Charlo. And like I said, I don't think Bud is being serious, but his fans are in the, a lot of these dudes up here in the city, they not necessarily boxing fans. They're not. A lot of people up here, they're casuals. We gotta be real. Call a spade a spade. They're definitely casuals. They're definitely casuals. But don't sit here and tell me that Bud doesn't need to fight Charlo because Charlo lost to Canelo when Canelo is 3 divisions south north of where Bud campaigns at. It's ridiculous. We need Bud versus Charlo. And if Charlo is still undisputed, not undisputed, but a 3 belt holder in that division, then immediately after that, we need Bud versus Tim Zoo. So he could be triple undisputed. Sometimes motherfuckers just need to learn when to fall back and just let motherfuckers just read the comments without interjecting an opinion so you can learn something. Stop running with these narratives, man. I was having a conversation with one of the cats that I worked with yesterday, and I'm like, he a bum. He was just this is a dude that Charlo he picked Charlo to win. But as soon as he loses to Canelo, oh man, he a bum, he ass, he this, that, third, but beat his ass. I'm like, bro, Canelo was an all-time great, a generational talent, current undisputed world champion, current top 5, number 4 pound, fuck top 5, number 4 on the pound for pound list. He's between 3 and 4. Him and Usyk right now, unless Usyk goes undisputed for the second time, him and Canelo are going to be battling for that number 3 spot. But he's number 3 or 4 on the pound for pound list. This dude has amassed an incredible career of accolades over his career, and because you lose to him now, all of a sudden you washed. It's not how it goes, bro. Not how it goes at all. Not how it goes, man. You're not whack because you lose to somebody like that. And Bud isn't gonna automatically beat him because he lost to Canelo. Y'all gotta stop with the narratives, man, because it just gives off like, damn, you niggas just be clueless. Niggas do be clueless. So everybody up here talking about they don't want to see Bud versus Charlo is bugging. That's a fight that we need. It's a fight that must happen if he wants to go double or not double, but triple times, 3 times undisputed. We need that fight. We definitely need that fight. So I'm pushing for it. I'm gonna definitely push for that fight, and hopefully it goes down sooner than later. We get that fight because it's something that needs to happen. That's a damn good fight between the two of them dudes, and I think he's a bigger challenge, a bigger threat than Spence was. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. I'm about to go get me something to eat. Y'all niggas be easy.